Why would you put in a quarterback that has a dislocated shoulder? You're risking his career and his draft stock or trade stock or what you could get for him.
Yeah, look what happened to Andrew Luck with all the shoulder injuries he had.
Look at Dak Prescott. Oh, my God. That guy's been waiting to get that big contract. And then, yes, I feel so bad for that kid. And I was going to go to the break but I got to talk about this. Dak Prescott has been fighting for that big-time contract. He was one of the top 3 quarterbacks all season long. Numbers show it. Touchdowns to yards per ratio, yards per throw, everything. He was second in the league in almost every single category. He's had a sensational season. And what happens? He twists his leg in a different position, trying to drop with the ball.
That really was brutal. I mean, you kind of
as bad as Alex Smith.
He took a gamble. Well, you know what? He's going to be lucky if he gets his franchise tag next year.
I feel so bad for him because he is going to be franchised if the Cowboys decide to bring him back. If Andy Dalton has anywhere close to a decent season with the Cowboys that gets them in the playoffs and gets them, who knows, the NFC title game, who knows what they do.
I really trust Andy Dalton.
Whatever. Andy Dalton's never had an offense like this. Andy Dalton's never had an offense like this.
Speedy, you are cool, but good for you.
But
I would say the Bengals' overall rosters a lot of the time are better than this Cowboys team.
Not better than the offense.
Not better than the offense.
Their offense is much better than Andy Dalton's ever had.
That is true.
He's got 3 wide receivers that are capable of being number 2s and number 1s. Okay, and I think Andy Dalton's he's gonna flourish in this offense with Mike McCarthy because he fits Mike McCarthy's offense. He does, and I think that if Andy Dalton has a good season, they might say, you know what, we could pay Andy next year. He signed a 2-year contract. We only have to pay Andy $6-7 million next year as a starting quarterback. Let's just release Dak and let somebody else fend for Dak. And I feel bad for the kid because he was going on a record-breaking pace. Some people said he was going to break 6,000 yards this year. That's where he was going. I mean, he was having a sensational season, and then all of a sudden, this happens against the New York Giants, and his career might be over. It's sad. It really is sad. He lost his brother to suicide before the season started. He lost his mom 2 years ago. This guy's been going through all these crazy things happening to this kid in his career, being drafted in the 4th round, and nobody giving him any credit. He's turned out to be the best quarterback in that draft class. Okay? He has been. Yes, Carson Wentz and Goff have both been in a Super Bowl. One of them won a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott has a winning record in the playoffs. A winning record. Jared Goff doesn't. He doesn't. I think he's 2-2. Or 3-2. 3-3.
2-2. No, you're right.
He's 2-2.
Yep. Dak, I think, is 2-2 as well, if I remember correctly.
No, I think Dak has a winning record in the NFL in the playoffs.
Let's see. Beat the Seahawks the 1 year.
Just look up the numbers. Don't guess. Look up the numbers.
No, it's 1-2 because they only made it 2 years. They only made it 2 years.
I'm just. To me, it's absolutely appalling how a lot of fans pick on Dak Prescott. This isn't Dak Prescott isn't the reason why the Cowboys defense sucks. Okay. That's not Dak Prescott's fault. That's Jerry Jones. That's his son. That's the coaching. That's everything. Why is Dak Prescott the one to be blamed for it? That kid has done nothing but go out there and play his heart out. Every single week. When people make fun of him, the Jeffs of the world making fun of him, saying that he's a terrible quarterback, he shouldn't be in the NFL, he shouldn't be starting in the NFL, and every single week, 400 yards, 450 yards, 500 yards, getting better and better every single week, breaking records, and then he breaks and he cracks his ankle, and he might never step on a football field again, quite possibly. This is a bad injury. He might never step on the field again at his age. Maybe he will because he's not Alex Smith. He'll heal quicker. I mean, it's sad. This is a sad story. CJ, what did you think about it?
Well, I tell you, I caught the replay of the injury, and you just gotta your heart goes out to him because at first he was rubbing his calf and kind of thought like maybe he had a cramp or whatever, and then you went and you looked down. And you see that his foot is pointed in the opposite direction that it's supposed to be pointed in the anatomical. And then there were a couple of the Cowboys receivers that were right around. And they immediately looked, and they looked away, and they were, like, frantically trying to get members of the training staff over to go and attend to him. And I mean, then you saw the majority of the Cowboys, they all kneeled around him. They all did like a prayer circle. And, and you saw that, once he was loaded onto the car, you saw the tears coming out of his eyes. And he knew that the injury was serious, and, but he still took it like a champ. So, you give him incredible props for his courage, but it's really going to be a difficult injury for him to come back from.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be interesting to see how he comes back from it.
I just feel bad for him. I feel bad. A lot of Cowboy fans, they emotional all over social media. They should be. This is a kid that has worked so hard to get where he is and earn the contract that he's been asking for. And you see guys like Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson. He's been in there longer than Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes and has played as good as both of them and has still have not gotten his contract. And I have been taking shots at Dak Prescott saying that he doesn't deserve $40 million. After this season and what we saw so far in the 4 games that we've seen him, he deserves $40 million. He deserves it. Anybody that doesn't think that he deserves it, he has shown you that he could be a franchise quarterback and you could build your team and your offense around him. You can. So, and you can win with Dak Prescott. Not win 3 Super Bowls in a row like the Pete thinks. Not that. But I think that you could win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. Unfortunately, I don't know if Dak Prescott will ever step on a field again. I don't know. We don't know what the severity of what we've seen. Hopefully, we'll find out in the next couple of days. The MRI, he had an MRI last night in the hospital. I'm sure it'll come out either today or tomorrow at the end of the night. So I'm interested to see how bad it is. And I know he had his surgery.
So he actually had his surgery last night.
Yeah. What was it? Do you know?
Dislocated ankle.
Oh, dislocated
ankle surgery. Yep.
Yeah, and that was the same.
Yeah, it was a dislocated ankle along with a compound fracture.
Yeah. Well, who had that same injury? Somebody had that same injury years and years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I got to find out.
Tim Crumley.
No. I think it was a basketball player that had the same injury.
Oh, is that the thing Paul George had? Or?
I think it was Paul George.
Yeah.
Paul
George
was
playing in the
No.
Olympics?
He snapped his leg.
Oh, that was his leg. Okay.
He snapped his leg. That was even more gruesome.
You're right. That one was the one that looked like the Kevin Ware one. Yeah.
That was even more gruesome. Paul George. That's amazing that Paul George came back.
Yeah.
And athletes have this this ability to come back from injuries like this. It's just sad. It really is. I mean, CJ, before we let you go, what game really stood out to you on Sunday?
There were a couple of games that stood out to me.
The game that really stood out. There was one that really stood out to me.
The 49ers losing at the Dolphins, I don't know if it was more so because the 49ers kind of struggled or the Dolphins are a little bit better than people are giving them credit for.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely stood out to me. Obviously, the Seahawks and Vikings game kind of stood out to me a little bit because we knew that was going to be a very competitive game. It was going to be a tough game, and quite frankly, when I watched that game from start to finish, and you really had that feeling that just Minnesota really just caught Seattle at a bad spot, and they were Russell Wilson magic.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, really nothing really surprised me.
Vegas beating Kansas City wasn't surprising to you?
Not really.
Really?
I did. I'll tell you this. Vegas is dangerous. If Vegas gets into the playoffs, not Kansas City, not any team in the AFC wants to play them. They can win. They have arguably the best tight end in football. You see how big of a beast he is in the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. You cannot stop him. It's crazy how fast he is and how they found him. He was on a practice squad, I think, for the Ravens.
Yep. He
was a practice squad for the Ravens. They brought him over there, and this guy's the best tight end in football right now. And nobody can argue that. I don't want to hear about Travis Kelce or what's his name again? Kittle. This guy is the best tight end in football, hands down. He could block. He could do everything Kittle and Kelce could do, and do it as well.
Yeah, I'm on a call.
Strong, athletic, and ability. I've been very impressed with Waller. I've been absolutely impressed with him and Jacobs. Mm-hmm. Jacobs can. This is the best young running back in football.
He's very consistent, which is sometimes hard to find for a lot of these running backs now.
An Alabama running back that never achieves anything. Go look at how many Alabama top draft picks have come out of the draft and never turned into anything.
Yeah.
And this kid, Lacey and
Trent Richardson.
Trent Richardson, all these guys. How many great running backs come out from college? Ingram was a good running back, but he's not great.
And he
Heisman
took a while.
Trophy winner.
He took a while to get going though too.
This guy is going to be a superstar in this league for the next 10 years.
Yeah, it's really him and Derrick Henry that have carried those Alabama draft picks with the running backs.
It's crazy.
Even a lot of the offensive linemen too didn't pan out for them either.
And you know what also really stood out to me, and I'm going to say this, the Bengals. Everybody keeps talking about how great Joe Burrows looks and blah, 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 blah. Finally, he puts up a dud. He puts up a dud against a very good defense. He finally played a top defense in the league. They put up 3 points, 183 yards, 1 interception, 19 for 30. So all you Burrow fans, well, I like Joe Burrows. I think he's going to be a good quarterback in the league. He's been very impressive. Just shut up. Shut up. Put the brakes on. This kid, it's going to take a while for this kid to figure things out. He's not going to throw 300-yard games every single week. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have the weapons Patrick Mahomes has. A.J. Green is washed up, and Boyd he's the only good weapon he has on the team. This team, and Mixon, besides that, they don't have anything. Okay, so their offensive line is definitely better than they have been.
It's a little bit, but you still have Bobby Hart as your right tackle, so have fun with that.
To me, there's a lot of standouts where I'm very surprised. Carolina's been very impressive to me.
Their defense is really good, and they lost a lot in the offseason.
They've been very impressive to me. The fact that the Browns beat Indianapolis yesterday, they were very impressive. Odell Beckham again. I mean, say whatever you want about Odell Beckham, and I am not an Odell Beckham fan. I can't stand Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham has been impressive. I mean, what did he have yesterday? He didn't even have a good game yesterday. But
it was Jarvis Landry.
I'm sorry, not Jarvis. Kareem Hunt had a good game yesterday.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
But Odell Beckham did other things on the field that doesn't show on the score sheet. Mm-hmm. He blocked. He helped block Kareem Hunt in for a touchdown.
Yeah, and he always going to draw attention.
He ran for 18 yards in a position that he did. So Odell Beckham, he's become a team player. That's what's been impressive to me. Not the games that he's had. It's just he's become more of a team player. I think he's figured out what it is. And they have, I guess they finally found a coach. They finally found a coach. A no-name guy that nobody even knows of. I mean, somebody that nobody even knew of. They bring in somebody that nobody expected to be a good coach. He's got more wins with this team than any coach they've had in the last 10 years.
Yeah, since Bill Belichick was their coach. And
How crazy is that?
And Nick Saban was their defensive coordinator.
How crazy is that, CJ? It took this long. It took 10 years for a coach to win 4 games in a season. And he's a rookie coach. He might go up as coach of the year.
I think he should be. I think not leading right now, but he should be in the nomination.
Well, if they win the division, and they could win the division the way they're playing, I wouldn't be so surprised if they can knock off the Baltimore Ravens because they have weaknesses too. Mm-hmm. You've seen it in their secondary.
They beat them once last year too, so it's possible.
You've seen it in their secondary. They're beatable. They are beatable in their secondary.
If the Browns can get any level of defense in the middle of the field with their coverage, they're going to be a very good team. That's really been performance-wise their only weakness so far this season. Even their run defense, which has been a big weakness for them,
their offensive line's haven't been good. Their offense, even it's been better, but it hasn't been good. Mm-hmm. I mean, they added some offensive linemen in the draft, and they brought in a top offensive line, Conklin, and Conklin hasn't looked good this year. And their offensive lineman has probably looked as bad as Thomas has looked. So they have not looked good.
But even just a
Wills,
little,
right? Well,
yeah, Jedrick Wills. Even just a little bit better, though.
Who everybody thought was going to be the best one.
I was surprised when I heard that, too. But, even just playing average or even just slightly above average is all they really needed with that amount of offensive talent that they have.
And, Tyler, I don't want to hear about Baker Mayfield because Baker Mayfield wasn't the reason why they won. Baker Mayfield's not the reason why they're winning. 21 for 37, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions is not a good game. So I don't want to hear from Tyler Harrison that Baker Mayfield is one of the best quarterbacks in the league because numbers will show you that he's not.